Now we're going to talk about our ACE kit. Our ACE kit is a Matrix 908 with an IC45 rate controller and a TeeJet PWM nozzle control system. So in combination with these three all together, you not only will get your mapping and your rate control, but you'll get individual nozzle control with the PWM system. The PWM system controls your droplet size. So you can set a specific droplet size if you wish, or you can leave it in automatic and it will always aim for the median or the average droplet size of the range of the nozzle. So we'll go through and show how things are mounted real quick, and then we'll go through some setup steps on the display. So we've got our manifold and everything mounted with our pressure transducer and with our flow meter and with our bypass regulating valve. And then back here on the back, we have our IC45 rate controller. So the rate controller is going to run your regulating valve based on the feedback it gets from the flow meter as well as with the pressure transducer. Right here, you have to excuse me, I got zip ties. I got to get a bracket to mount this on. This is the IC7140. This is your TeeJet PWM module. And then these two modules here are the driver modules that actually drive the solenoids that are on your nozzle bodies. And as you can see on the nozzle bodies right here, instead of having a check valve, you now have a solenoid. And when installing these solenoids, you remove your check valve and screw the solenoid into it. If you order this kit will come with the solenoid installed on your nozzle bodies. When you install it, make sure that you have, as you can see, we've got extra cable here to make sure that you don't want to mount this to where it's pulling down real tight on this cable like this, or pulling up real tight, or pulling to the side, or any of that. You want it to go straight in and have some slack in it. So now we'll walk back up front and we'll go through some of the settings that are in the IC45 and in the TeeJet module. So here we have, I'm gonna hit the X here, go to our hamburger menu, and we've got our universal terminal. So now we have two icons. This icon is the IC45, your rate controller, and this icon is your TeeJet screen. So we're gonna start with the IC45, and on the IC45, your menu button is right here, and this brings you to your main menu. We'll go Machine, Advanced Settings. Here we will set our sensor presence, our flow sensor and our pressure sensor. And then we'll set our implement parameters. We're a crop sprayer, and in this particular scenario, we're 11 sections. You could have up to 12. So we've already got it set for 11. Our machine geometry. We're a self-propelled rear. And then you can hit the info button and it'll tell you how to measure. So from the non-steerable axle or the pivoting axle back to the boom is how far you want to measure. And for us, it's 39 inches. And then we'll back up. We've got our valve set up. We're in bypass. We have a bypass regulating valve. We have our tank set up. We have a 200-gallon tank. We have a minimum tank content of 5.3 gallons. You can set that to whatever you wish. You can set it at 0. You can set it at 10. It doesn't really matter. It's a personal preference. Then we have our regulating details. I don't recommend changing any of these unless you absolutely have to, and the have to would be you can't get it to get on target rate. It's kind of fluctuating there, and sometimes we can go in there and speed up or slow down the regulating valve to get it to get on target rate and get it to get stable. What I would do is, as you can see, we're on page 1 of 2. I would change to page number 2 and set my minimum speed to 0.1 miles an hour, and that helps it when you're sitting still. If you hit the master switch or something like that, it won't begin to start spraying sitting still. So we're going to go back out of this menu, go back again, and now we're going to go into job settings. Job settings, we have our machine profile. In our machine profile, we're going to set our nozzle spacing. This machine is set to 20-inch spacing. And our section width, since we're individual nozzle, needs to be all 20. So you can see we've got all 20s through section 6. We changed the page, and we've got all 20s through section 11. When you change those, you'll see a bar come up, and an alarm will go off, and it actually update the communication between IC45 and DynaJet, so they're both on the same page of what they have. Our DynaJet profile, so sprayer regulation mode needs to be flow based. DynaJet regulation mode needs to be pressure based. In our operation screen, here we're going to set our speed source to automatic. Now, more than likely it's going to be on implement when you first turn it on, and all you'll do is hit this page flip button and select automatic. The other thing on this page is your low and high speed for simulated speed. So you have simulated speed options in here so you can spray sitting still. And one thing that you'll do here is you can set these to, well, heck, I normally spray around 8 miles an hour. I would like to drive 8 miles an hour. Okay. Set your simulated high speed, in this case, to 8 miles an hour. And then when we're in simulated speed, we can change to that. So we'll go menu back again. Here we have our nozzle presets. So you have to make sure that you put the nozzles that you actually have on your machine in here. So you can select up to 5 different nozzle presets. You can change pages. There's a whole lot of them in here. All the TeeJet nozzles are in here, and you select which nozzle you have, and then you select the size of it. So a 110, a 110-10. That's what we have here, is a light blue in color. And then you can change the page, and you set up another one. You change the page, you set up another one. Also here we have our calibrations. So your flow sensor, in this scenario, we have the TeeJet FM 9380, which is a EM electromagnetic flow meter, and it's 1500 pulses per gallon. It's on the tag on the flow meter. The low limit is 0.6 gallons per minute, and the high limit is 100, and both of those are also on the flow meter tag. We also have our pressure transducer, and you have to calibrate your no pressure, and you do that with the machine. The engine can be running, but have the pump turned off. Make sure you're not spraying. Your system has no pressure on it. As you can see, both of ours are the same right now, but you hit this as the calibration button and it would change it. So for instance, I can change that to that, and then I can hit the calibration button and it would auto calibrate it for you. So with maximum pressure, you're going to do the same thing. So we have 145 PSI pressure sensor on here, and it's got a reference pressure of 73, which is kind of hard to read on a gauge, so let's just put it at 70. And here what you would do is you would hit the calibrate button, turn your sprayer on, and use the plus button to increase pressure, the minus button to decrease pressure, and run your manual gauge. You'll look at your manual gauge and get it to 70 PSI, which is your reference pressure, and then you would hit the check mark. So that's all of our settings that we have to go through. So on the run page here, the rabbit and turtle slider down here is your simulated speed. So right here you can see that we have 0 mile per hour right now. Now we've got our 8. If we go to our turtle, it's going to count all the way down to 3.7, 3.4, whatever it was set to earlier. And then if you take off and start moving and start spraying, it'll automatically kick this off, and it'll read your mile per hour based on your GPS speed. Also here, you can select this bar graph here, and you can change your nozzles. I'm going to leave it on an 08 because that's the nozzle we currently have installed. You also have, for a virtual switch box, you can push here and you can cut sections 1, 3, 4, 6 off, whatever. You can turn them back on. If you want to manually do this for whatever reason, hit the X to turn them back off. So everything but miles per hour here is able to be changed. So this is our target application rate right now, and you can cycle through 3 different pages to display whatever you want, and you can change this one, or any of these 3 across the bottom. This is your master switch to turn it on and off. On, off. This is where you go set your target rate. So we were at currently a 20 gallon per acre target rate. You can change that to 25 if you wish, and then just go back, and now your target rate's been changed to 25. DynaJet is really simple. All right, so we're going to go back to the house. This is the screen that's going to come up first. Everything here is good. We've got 11 nozzles, we've got 2 drivers, and we've got a start and an end terminator. So everything's good. If it wasn't, there would be a caution symbol by one of these. If you have that caution symbol, you can go into here and it will show you where you have a problem. There's your caution symbol, but you can see we have no errors, so we're good. We'll just go back home, hit our working man with a shovel. So in this mode here, the green dot is the average of all the droplet sizes there, and that's where it's going to go to for this nozzle. As I said on the IC45, you've got to have the right nozzle selected. So on the IC45 screen and the DynaJet screen, you need to make sure that you have the same nozzle selected in both. Here we have the AIC08. This button here will allow you to change it with the hand. This is a manual mode, and here you can use the increase, decrease buttons to change your, so right now we're at 100% duty cycle. That makes it spray like a regular old sprayer would, okay? So you can increase and decrease that here. I don't recommend running it in this mode unless you are trying to test something or there is a very specific scenario. Always run it in automatic, and if you say, well, I want a certain droplet size, hey, that's fine. We can take off the extra coarse there, and then we can take off the coarse, and it's gonna stay in the very coarse mode now. It will only stay in that blue area. But if you leave all of them unselected, it's gonna drive to the median or the average of all 3 of those combined. So with DynaJet, you're just gonna leave it on this screen. This is what's called automatic mode. It'll look just like this, and you're gonna leave it alone. You don't have to mess with it. You would go back to the IC45 screen here. You've got your target rate in, you hit your master switch, you take off and start driving, and it will apply as it's supposed to. The PWM, if you're ever looking at this screen, you'll see this percent. That duty cycle can change depending on your speed or the size of droplet you've selected or your target rate. You'll see that duty cycle change, but that's the way the system is designed. It's supposed to do that because it's driving toward a droplet size.